Like my purple shirt, Dalton? Say purple shirt 5 times fast.
I'm not going to try it.
Okay. Oh, hey, look, the camera's on. It's time to talk about football. Hey, everybody, welcome into the DJ Preps Football Preview Show, Week 6. I'm Brad. That is Dalton, and we're here to inform you and perhaps entertain you a little bit, but mostly to inform you about 3 big games coming up this week in high school football in Northeast Mississippi. That's what we do every week. We'll also have the Broughton Award. We're going to go over our coverage plans for the week. We're going to have predictions that we're going to make. So, That's the show for the next few minutes. Let's go ahead and start by reviewing last week's picks, Dalton. Again, if you haven't seen this before, we let the coin decide the winner, and then we pick the score. Okay. Last week, the coin went 1-2, Dalton. I haven't totaled up the coin's record, but I'm thinking it's just a little below 500 at this point. So fate, not the best predictor of football results.
Might be right at 500.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this week. But last week, like I said, 1-2. The coin, the only game it got right was the New Albany against Kossuth. New Albany won that game. It missed. It picked Senatobia to beat Shannon. That didn't happen. It picked Pontotoc to beat Oxford. That didn't happen. As far as the best prediction between the two of us, once again, neither of us really came close on any of them.
It's been a rough stretch for us.
It has been. So those. That's how the coin did last week. The 3 big games this week. Let's introduce them real quick. We got Falkner at Okolona, South Pontotoc at Mooreville, and Lafayette at West Point. Pretty good slate, if I say so myself. Okay, let's start with game number 1. Falkner and Okolona, the matchup. It's a big Division 1-1A game, Dalton. Both of these teams were 2-0 in division. Okolona won it last year, made a deep playoff run. So it should be a good game. And let's look at the 3 keys to the game here. Key number 1, Okolona's team speed. Dalton, they're not as big as last year, but they're faster probably. And they got Jacorius Stanfield, who's a really good running back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just outstanding guy. And I watched Falkner earlier in the season. They kind of struggled a little bit with speed whenever Walnut threw it at them. So Okolona can get some success with that.
Key number 2, Falkner quarterback Lane Elliott. Now, like I said, Okolona will be faster, but how good will they play pass defense? Because Lane Elliott, he's a senior, but a first-year starter at quarterback, and he has been lighting it up. Dalton, I got him with 942 yards and 14 touchdowns in 5 games.
Yeah, they're just nonstop throwing the ball in that offense. They're just shredding defenses right now.
And you've seen Elliott, haven't you? I mean, he's legit.
He threw 5 touchdowns, I think, in the game I saw him, and it's just unreal. Just that offense is good.
So and then key number 3, which coach's first name is cooler? You've got Lamart Harvey at Okolona. You've got Quest Hood at Falkner.
I think I would go with Quest.
You can make more puns with Quest.
Yeah.
Quest could host his own little show. 3 questions with Quest, or something like that. I don't know. Let's make the prediction. Dalton, head, home team wins, tails. The visitor, this game is at Okolona. See if I can flip a coin this week without dropping it behind your chair. And we are going to see, tails, Falkner. Okay, coin. Pretty bold pick. Score?
42-35.
I will say 32-30.
It's going.
Cool. Watch out, James. Stay on your toes, son. Game number 2, South Pontotoc at Mooreville. Matchup here, you got Mooreville, a 4A team. They've got 3 wins, which is already, I believe, more than last year. So Jimmy Young doing a good job there. And then they're hosting South Pontotoc, which is a really good 3A team, Dalton. So this could be a really good game, we hope. That's what we try to do, is pick games we think will be good. 3 keys to this game. Key number 1, Mooreville's defense against the dynamic duo of running back Eddie Ivey and tight end Brett Riley. Eddie, one of the best running backs in the area. Riley is just how tall is he? 6'4", 6'6"? 6'6", tight end. He tends to have huge games. He might go quiet for a game or 2, and then he'll turn up and get 4 touchdown catches.
Yeah, and you just can't guard 6'6".
No. Most high school teams cannot guard 6'6" because you don't have 6'6" cornerbacks. So that'll be a big key there. Key number 2, turnovers, because Mooreville, I think 3-2, but they've had some issues. They're -5 in the turnover category. So South Pontotoc, that might be something they can take advantage of. And then key number 3, who can give the best halftime speech? You got Michael Bradley at South Pontotoc. You got Jimmy Young at Mooreville. I think what gives Bradley the edge is he has a military background, and he actually was deployed to Iraq several years ago. Now, maybe Jimmy Young has a military background too. I just don't know about it. But you figure Michael Bradley, with his being with that kind of background, military guys are pretty good at getting you pumped up, right? So I feel like he'll have a really good halftime speech. Maybe,
I think so.
Maybe tell his kids about what it was like being over there, in Iraq, and I don't know. Predictions. Here we go. That coin didn't even flip. Let me try that again. It didn't even turn over once. There we go. That's more like it. Tails, Dalton, South Pontotoc. Score?
35-14.
I'll say 28-20. Could be a close game. All right. Almost got you, James. Game number 3. This is the game of the week, in my opinion. Lafayette at West Point, Dalton. Huge matchup between two Division I 5A teams. This is a division opener for both. West Point, of course, has won 2 consecutive 5A state titles. Lafayette has some 4A state titles under its belt. It moved up to 5A last year, struggled a lot, but they look to be back, Dalton. So both teams off to 3-1 starts. You've got a lot of good players on both sides of the ball for both of those teams. So let's look at the 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, Lafayette has that 3-headed monster in the backfield. Quarterback Randy Anderson and his 2 running backs, Jamie Shaw and Lance Stewart. They've all got almost 500 yards rushing apiece.
It's impressive.
It's very good. So, that rushing attack is one of the best in the area. So West Point could have its hands full trying to stop all 3 of those guys. But key number 2, passing situations, okay? Neither of these teams is going to pass it a lot, especially not West Point. But if they get into a 3rd and long, how effective can they be? Especially West Point passing against the Lafayette defense that has Brandon Turnage playing back there. Alabama commit, cornerback for Lafayette. He's already got 3 interceptions this year. And so, and it goes the other way too. West Point is pretty good against the pass. They've got 6 picks as a team, 7 sacks. So if Randy Anderson gets in trouble, he may have to scramble. He can run. But as far as passing the ball, it's going to be challenging for both quarterbacks, I think. And then key number 3. Which coach has the best poker face? Now, Chris Chambliss might have the best poker face in the state. Like, no matter what's happening in the game or any other time that I've seen him in person, he's just the same, just steady all the way.
I interviewed him.
Not that Michael Fair doesn't have a poker face, but it's hard to beat Chris Chambliss there.
Yeah, interviewed him after the state championship win last year, and I don't think he even cracked a smile.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So, prediction time. Let's see what the coin says on this one. And it says West Point.
Oof.
Score?
Let's go 35-20.
I'm going to go with 17-16. I think we could see a defensive battle here. You never know. But
I think West Point's. I think they're really, really good this year. So.
They are. The only loss coming to Starkville, which will probably win the 6A title this year. So those are your 3 games to watch. And now we move on to the Broughton Award. Brad, Dalton. Broughton, the best 1-2 punch from last week. Amory, Casey Ivy, and Trendon Gillen. Now, KC is a backup running back. He comes in and runs for 312 yards and a touchdown for Amory. And then Gillen, he had 2 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown, and on defense had a 99-yard interception return for touchdown. So that was in a 42-14 win over Middleton. So congrats to Casey Ivy and Trendon Gillen. And let's wrap up the show by telling y'all where we're going to be Friday night covering games. I'll be at Lafayette West Point, a game in West Point. You got Falkner at Okolona. Going to have Floyd Ingram on that one. Dalton, you'll be at Hernando Tupelo, the division opener for Tupelo. Houston at Amory, it'll be Ethan Turner. South Pontotoc at Mooreville, David Wheeler. And New Albany at East Union, Gene Phelps. So that's it for this program, this week's edition of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. That title's too long. We got to work on that.
Yeah, we're going to change something
there. Be sure to also listen to our podcast every Wednesday, Prep Rally. It's in iTunes, your podcast apps, or at preprally.djournal.com. Follow us on Twitter at djournalpreps. He's at DL Middleton. I'm at Brad Locke. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks.